Hey everybody, it's Gomlet, and welcome back to another Ravnica Allegiance traditional draft, thanks to the gems that I won in the last one. So let's see what we get here. I think this rare is bad. It looks really good at first glance, but it's 6 mana to steal 1 card. I guess it's not really bad. It's alright. I think you really have to ramp a lot to get a whole bunch of value out of this. And I could definitely see a lot of games where you just die before you can cast this. I don't know. It could be strong. It is a strong effect if you can make it to that mana cost. Vindictive Vampire can be good. Daggercaster can be sick. And other than that, it's a bunch of average cards. I've heard Shieldbringer's pretty good. I like Orator a lot. It's just a 2-mana 2/2 with a little bit of upside. And Scorchmark is good because it is early game removal. Grudion's probably okay. So, am I really just going to take the Mass Manipulation here? I feel like none of these other cards are insanely exciting. Daggercaster can be really exciting against an Afterlife deck or a Goblin Gathering deck, but none of them are like super exciting, and I guess Mass Manipulation, while I don't like it a lot, is definitely a more interesting and exciting pick than the rest of this stuff, so I think I'll just go with that. It's also a rare, which will be harder for me to collect, so I might as well pick it up. So here there's Nikia of the Old Ways. It's a 5-mana 5/5 that makes all of your lands tap for double mana, but you can't cast non-creature spells. So while it seems like it's kind of a combo with Mass Manipulation, it is actually not, because you cannot cast Mass Manipulation off of it, unfortunately. But if I could use all that mana on it, that would be pretty sweet. I feel like this card is probably not very good. I guess it is a 5-mana 5/5. You get double mana, so it's probably... If you take this card, you probably just want to make a deck with a whole lot of adapt creatures and abilities and stuff like that. But it's pretty rough not being able to use your removal spells or your fight spells or stuff like that. But it does seem like a lot of upside if you can deal with just not having non-creatures. There are other really good cards here. There's a Law Mage's Binding. If I want to just go with my Mass Manipulation, I could just take a Law Mage's Binding and see if I just go into Azorious here and just hope to survive long enough to cast this on 6. There's also Grotesque Demise, which is a good early game removal spell. Clamor Shaman's pretty good in these Gruul decks, just as a really aggressive card that gets in there and is like, once they finally have a blocker, you're just like, nope, you still don't have a blocker, and hopefully you can kill them before they get too many creatures. Frenzied Erranx is good. It is your average middle of the ground riot card. I think it's pretty good. Grasping Thrall seems pretty good as well. So yeah, don't really know what to do here. As I've said before, the problem with drafting on Magic Arena is that there's no time limit on the picks, so I usually deliberate way too much. But for me personally, I think it's between Nikia and Law Mage's Binding pretty heavily. I like both of those cards. I have not really tried an Azorious deck yet. I haven't tried Gruul yet either. I really haven't played this format very much at all. But I have played Rakdos twice, and that is red, so that's like half of Gruul. So I think I might just take the Law Mage's Binding and try to play a deck that I haven't played yet with Azorious here. So here, there's nothing really exciting for Azorious, which is rough. Cry of Carnarium seems really good. Like really, really good against a lot of decks. And then Skewer of the Critics is obviously good. Those are the only really exciting cards here. The rest of the stuff is pretty average for basically everything else. I guess I could take a Quench or a Slimebind. Both of those are middle of the ground. I think Quench I've seen be a little worse most of the time, but it is quite good in the sideboard. Same with Bring to Trial. Seems like a good sideboard card. I think Guess I'll pick Slimebind, because that's more main deckable than these two in my opinion. I could also take Persistent Petitioners and maybe try and do something really stupid here. I do really like drafting the stupid decks. If you're watching my draft videos, I will just let you know you are not watching the best drafter in the world. You are watching a fool who enjoys doing weird and stupid things. But if you've seen my last draft, then you understand that, because I drafted Goblin Gathering last time. Check out that video if you're interested in that. It actually was quite fun. Could also draft High Alert, which I've heard is a fun build around as well. Could just take High Alert and then see where we go from there. This is really early to pick High Alert, but at the same time, go big or go home. Let's do something silly. So this is a 6-mana 6/6 if I have High Alert out, so that's pretty cool. Seems pretty medium if I don't. Concordia Pegasus seems good either way, and same with Syndicate Messenger. These both seem good without the High Alert, and a little bit better if I get it. There's also an Azorious Guildgate if I want to fix my mana, which I think this deck actually wants to do, because I have a card that costs 4 blue. Like, I need to make sure I have a good mana base with this deck. I do think I just want one of these flyers, though, because that's going to be good no matter what. Same with the Guildgate, but I don't have, like, any creatures yet. I think I'll take the Syndicate Messenger. Let's put that at a high mana cost. We could put Gyre Engineer in here for ramp. Maybe we try to go 3-color here. I feel like this card is just really, really good. Just ramping up 2 there. Yeah, there's nothing else we're really playing except like maybe Watchful Giant or the Locket. So we'll take this guy. Might not end up playing him. Arrester's Zeal seems bad in this deck, because we don't have any early creatures yet. Knight of Sorrows is a lot of mana. This is not a very good start. I'm not doing a great draft this time. I'm just going to pick up the Guildgate. Take a Twilight Panther, which is just bad without black mana, so I don't really feel like it. Or there's a Shimmer of Possibility, which helps us get the cards we need, so I'll just take a Shimmer. This pack. There's Cry of the Carnarium. This is pick 8? God, that seems really late. This draft has really not worked out so far. This card seems very good. It's like I could take a Fairy Duelist, which I guess stops an early blocker and trades with it. Or I could take Cry of the Carnarium because it is in this pack so late, which makes me feel like black is pretty open, so maybe I should pivot into Orzhov, or maybe I should just completely not play any of the cards I've drafted so far. This is kind of crazy. This is a really hard pick, because the thing is, if I pick up that Cry of the Carnarium, then it's possible that 2 packs from now, I get another Cry of the Carnarium. Like, if this one went that late, I'm gonna pick it, and we'll see. I do not like the Veteran very much. We do need some creatures here, but I guess I'll just grab the black card in case the other Cry's here. Okay, so the other Cry isn't even here. Alright, well this is going to be a bad draft. I did give you that preface at the beginning, but I'm just going to let you all know this is going to be a very bad draft, because we're taking Tower Defense to go with our High Alert. I guess we take Quench. Alright, this is going to be the absolute loss. Wilderness Reclamation actually might have been the pick there, because Wilderness Reclamation with abilities like this that you can use during your opponent's turn are quite good, but I guess I only have one of them right now. I also do have I have 2 instant speed cards, so maybe that would have been good. Bankrupt and Blood just seems completely unplayable. But Thirsting Shade isn't going to do anything in Standard, so... Well, actually, no. I'm going to take the Shade just because I have 3 good black cards, so just in case I end up swapping into black at some point. Could take a second High Alert so that I definitely always have a High Alert. But I don't even have anything that's benefiting from it right now, except for like a Tower Defense, which is just like your field gets +5/+5 till end of turn. That seems insane. We're going to continue being as stupid as possible and take a High Alert. Once you've gone this far, it's kind of too late. So Wall of Lost Thoughts could be good, but the Sphinx of Foresight is just going to be great at all times, regardless of what kind of silly plan I'm doing here. There's a Taste of Karlov, which I do really want for Standard, which is cool, but also there's Homunculus, which will be a 5/5 hexproof with High Alert out. So I think I'll just take him. I guess we could have taken the Teysa and pivoted back into, like, Esper. Esper probably would have been better, actually, because then we could play the Cry and the Vindictive Vampire. But green gives us access to tower defense, and we could just literally splash in tower defense and not even the Engineer, because I feel like Engineer's a lot worse on the splash. Because you want to get him early. He's one of those kind of cards. Could take a Mammoth Spider, or Fairy Duelist, or Thought Collapse, or Homunculus. I think I want an early game creature now, so I'll take the Fairy Duelist. Just an early game blocker. I like Sentinel's Mark quite a bit. It's probably pretty good in this deck as well. Surely Caretaker could be good, but that would again require us to have very good mana. It does help our mana as well, so like if we take Caretaker, then we're putting the green-blue guy back in, and we're trying to have a lot of forests just for our early game mana dorks. Yeah, this could be more of like a Simic Splash White if we go with the Mana Dork. And the Mana Dork does have, it's an 0/3 defender, so it would be a 3/3 defender instead. I think it's almost definitely just better to take Sentinel's Mark, though. The card seems quite good, but how many creatures do I have? I've got 1, 2, 3. I have 4 creatures so far. Yeah, I like Sentinel's Mark a lot. Just giving something Vigilance in this deck, where I'm going to have like mostly walls, I think I'm going to want them to have Vigilance. High Alert does let you untap creatures, but you have to pay a bunch of mana to do it. So is Gateway Plaza going to be better than Azorious Guildgate in this deck? I think that's the question here. We're definitely taking a mana fixing card. I have a lot of 2-drops so far, so it's possible the Gateway Plaza is just going to end up always being awkward. Yeah, this might be the wrong pick, but I'm going to take just the Guildgate here. And we could just pick up a Gateway Plaza now if I really want. Which I might do, because otherwise it's a Sphinx's Insight. Let's actually put these in the sideboard so that I can count how many non-lands are in my deck. Right now I have 12, so I'll need 11 more playable non-land cards. So I think at that rate, I'll just take... Prying Eyes could be good too, but it is a lot of mana. I think I'll just take the Insight. Here, there's a Senate Courier, which I think is exactly what we're trying to do. It's good with High Alert, and it can get Vigilance. Do we just take the big boy or the Growth Spiral? Probably not the Growth Spiral. Because we're probably just playing a tower defense off a couple guild gates in this stupid deck, so I guess we'll just take the Giant. This deck is quite bad. So there's the Archway Angel or the Wall of Lost Thoughts. That's a really hard pick. But I already have 3 guild gates to gain life off this guy, and I think I need to gain life in this deck because we start so slow that I think we do want something like that to just get us back into the game. At the same time, the Wall of Lost Thoughts is basically a 2-mana 4/4 if we have a High Alert out. But we already have a bunch of 2-mana cards. I'm going to pick up the Angel here. This pack... How many ETB effects do I have? I've got 1... I have 2 enter the battlefield effects right now. Or I have 3 because of the Angel and the Giant. Could also just give a creature first strike till end of turn as like sort of removal, but then there's also Sky Tether. Should a creature has Defender and loses Flying. So that just makes sure that our opponents aren't attacking us for a little bit. I might actually just need that early game. I'm going to slap that over here in the sideboard. Pick up another Homunculus. Alright, we did get the Justicier's Portal anyway, so I'll put it in here for now, but I probably want to just cut that soon. This pack has nothing that combos with the high alert, so I think we just want the Sphinx. Yeah, it's pretty hard to cast, but it's a big boy. So take Sphinx's Insight or the 10th District Veteran or the Sage's Row Savant. This deck is ending real bad. I guess Scuttlegator can attack when we have High Alert out, right? Yeah, so it's just a 6 mana 6/6 at worst. This deck is really dumb. And like maybe you adapt it and then it's just massive. I think honestly with this curve with this deck right now, actually this curve isn't really like that because these cards are non-creature cards. Oh yeah, this curve is not like that at all. I think I'd actually do one more 2-drops. I'm gonna pick up the Savant. It's important to think about your like instant speed cards that you're not actually dropping on turn 2 when you take into account your curve. So there's Chillbringer, which is just a good card. There's this Terramander, which could be okay. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Terramander's probably not good in this deck. It's a Wayfinder, but we don't want cards that get lands off of our splash color, so I think it's between Veteran and Chillbringer seems like a pretty sick card. Yeah, this deck's gonna be really loose. I think we're just taking Gate Colossus here, because if you ever hit that mana, Gate Colossus is just a lethal card. If it's like a removal spell, you turn their creature into a 3/3, that could be okay. Works on anything. Other than that, we're taking a Gate, a Slimebind, or Bring to Trial for the sideboard. This deck did not work out. Don't think. Yeah, I guess I'll just take a Slimebind. Here we can take the 2/2 that gains its life. Here we could take another Humongulous or the counter spell. I guess we already have 2 Humonguluses. We could. They are quite good with High Alert though, so maybe we're just on Humongulous plan. So I will just take that. Slimebind seems really good, but I want the Senate Griffin here. Here we'll take another Quench. And yeah, I mean, this became an okay deck at the very end here. Still don't think it's good, probably. Possibly playing that. Not playing these. Not playing that. Okay, let's figure out this deck. We're at 47 cards. It's gotta take 7 cards out here. I think I'll just take the Portal out. Maybe we sideboard the Quenches. Not a huge fan of main deck Quench. I haven't watched a lot of content on Allegiance yet, but I have watched a little bit of I think LSV and Gabby Sparks drafting the set, and if LSV was not using their Quench main deck, I think I'm gonna not use my Quench main deck because LSV is way better than me. Let's see. I like all those. How many gates do I have? I have 3, right? Yeah, 3. So this is probably like a 7 mana card. It's like pretty lethal. I guess I'll take the Prying Eyes out because I have a whole lot of high drops here. Take 3 more cards out. Like, High Alert, how much is High Alert actually doing here? Because I think that we might just take out High Alert and Tower Defense and just become a bland, basic deck here. Because what High Alert is doing, we've got we've got 4 cards that High Alert is doing anything great on. That's like it. So I think we do just take out High Alert and as such take out the Tower Defense. And then this is a pretty standard but weak Azorious list here. Just put in double Guildgate. Yeah, draft really didn't work out in terms of playing something weird and fun. I think my problem is I always force the weird strategies. You have to just only use them when they come to you, but recognize when they're coming to you. So, like, when I went Goblin Gathering last time, I believe it was because it was, like, pick 7 or 8. I got, like, a Goblin Gathering. And then I remembered that I saw a couple Goblin Gatherings earlier, so I was like, oh, so those two will wheel. So we could actually try to do this. But yeah, today was, that is not how you draft. If I'm being completely honest. I probably shouldn't even have been in Azorious, but I want to try out the guilds that I haven't tried before. So I think the best plan might have been to just abandon the mitotic manipulation and move into Gruul off the Nikia, but I don't know how good she is. Draw? Round 1 is a draw. Cool. Well, no matter what, we are not exclusively losses with this deck, because we have a draw. Alright, let's get into round 1. See how this goes. This hand is actually... This looks like a reasonable deck now. Again, 10th District Veteran I don't think is very good, but... Our deck is not very good, so... We'll deal with it. Opponent with the Footlight Fiend. So I could just drop out the Savant, but I think I will just Fairy Duelist them. So I have to assume... Oh, shit. Yeah, Judith is really good. Well, because of the 2 death triggers, I am just trading a duelist for the Fiend, but gotta deal with it. Judith is real strong. I think we're just gonna play the Veteran out this turn, since it has enough power to block and kill the Judith, so they have to get rid of this Veteran if they want to get attacking. That is a Rakdos Roustabout. That's quite a good attacker. Alright. So they don't do anything there. I think I like just playing my most expensive card and scrying. I don't want to just Sphinx's Insight here because I want to have a board presence of any form. I don't actually want to land right now because I can cast everything in my hand. You know, as much as I do have like high mana bombs later, since I don't have them right now, I might just draw more low mana cost cards, in which case drawing a land here is just bad. Yeah. Go ahead and trade for that. We take 2 and they get to spectacle something out still, but I'm gonna get rid of that Roustabout. They could also do one of the Griffin and then have that 1 damage thing. That would be pretty rough. They have a Blade Juggler. Alright, well, I think here I want to Shimmer and Sage's Rosavant. So, because Sage's Rosavant can just trade with one of their 2 toughness creatures, and I can just swing in with the Senate Griffin instead of saving it to block here. So I will Shimmer of Possibility first, though, off of double blue. So I get to put one of these in my hand. I think I like the 2/5 Hexproof a lot. I do have another 5 mana card in my hand, though, so maybe I just want to pick up a land. But I think... No, 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 that was supposed to be the... That was supposed to be the Humongulous, but I clicked slightly to the right of the Humongulous. I could just play a tapped land and Sphinx's Insight next turn. Yeah, I really wanted the Humongulous here. Humongulous seems to just like shut off their field right now. So I wanted to put the Humongulous, or draw the Humongulous, and then hope to scry to a land off the Savant. Yeah, that was a terrible technical issue there. Yes, it was a misclick on my end, but it's the kind of thing that just never happens in paper Magic, because it's impossible to like to misclick the card when you have the physical card in front of you. So I will still call it a technical mishap. That is a Spike Wheel Acrobat. I guess I could actually just play the Order instead of drawing cards here. That way, again, I have something to block that. Yeah, because now I definitely have Chillbringer next turn. So I have like a strong play next turn, so I don't need to set one up with the Insight. I would like to stay at as high a life total as possible, because they are just slowly dying to Flyers this game. So if I just keep my life total high, then I am super fine. Whatever they play this turn is probably getting Chillbrung. Yep. Just gonna Chillbring that. I think my deck is pretty good against their deck. Just from me randomly having some high toughness stuff just because of the high alerts, like the Humongulous and Watchful Giant. I think both of those cards are quite good against their stuff. So like it happened to work out decently. Now I think I attack them for 6 in the air. Especially if I get a land, then I just drop the Giant, attack for 6 in the air, and hopefully they just die next turn. Alright, I will put you to dead on board next turn. I'm at 16 here. I'm going to have a 6/6 and a 1/1 blocker, so they have to do a lot to get me dead. Or not a 6/6, a 3/6 and a 1/1 blocker. Alright. Can they kill me or one of my Flyers this turn? If 2 of their creatures die, they can. So then they can kill my Griffin. So it looks like they're Alpha Striking, so I'll block Judith and chump Acrobat. Then they only get 1 death trigger, so they have to still have another spell of removal of some kind to kill my Flyer. Looks like they just have a Burn Bright. That is totally fine. That changes absolutely nothing. I guess I take 4 damage instead of 2. And they give it Death Touch, but they are dead. Oh wait, no, it has Death Touch, so they get to do... They get to kill the Flyer. Oh, they didn't realize. They did not realize the combo. Very happy about that. They played the card that gave it Death Touch. I'm like, oh, they have the combo in their deck, and then they didn't realize that they could have just killed my guy. Because damage from Judith would insta-kill my creatures. So, Quench would actually be okay against their deck. Maybe I don't actually just want the Gate Colossus, but at the same time, I think I still do, because what really won me that game was just starting to play my larger cards. Shieldbringer into Watchful Giant. I mean, just having flyers won that game, if we're being honest. So maybe I do put Quench instead of the Gate Colossus, because I probably don't have time for Gate Colossus against a Rakdos deck. So we can throw a Quench in here, and what else is very unimpressive against them? I think everything else is just okay. Like, I'm fine with 2/3s, trading for their 3/2s and stuff like that. So we just throw in the random Quench. And it's probably okay. I mean... yeah, it's probably okay. Just countering anything they do on turn 3 is good for me. Because if I make sure that the game lasts long, it seems like my deck just has larger cards than theirs. And Quench will stall. Alright. This hand kind of sucks. I am on the draw, so hopefully I don't draw land. Or a land. Hopefully I don't draw lands, period. That would be incredible if I draw no lands. But I do have turn 4 Sphinx of New Prov, which seems quite good. This might have been something I should have mulliganed just because I am against Rakdos. So it's possible I just die because my deck or my hand is so slow. I do have a Senate Courier now, which will be good to block things. Yeah, so starting next turn I get to do 3-drop, 4-drop, 5-drop, so I think I'm good. It looks like they kept a mono-red hand, probably stuck with a bunch of black cards in their hand, hopefully. So, I think things will probably start going alright over here. I just get to consistently play things that block very well. They do have the 10 Street Dodger, so they can get through. But I think next turn Sphinx into turn after that Humongulous is just going to be too much. Too much to block their stuff. And Sphinx also just puts the clock on them because it's got Vigilance. Sphinx just starts getting in there. 3/3 Menace is a little threatening, though. It's kind of a problem. That thing's going to start actually hitting me. You can do 1 to my face if you want. I would like to get that card off the board if you allow me to. Alright. It's ya boy, Sphinx of New Prov. It's quite good. Yeah, opponent is stuck on red, which is quite awkward for them. I'm gonna go ahead and take 3 from the Menace. Would like to kill the Dodger while I can, since that thing can be unblockable any turn that they spend a mana on it. Alright, nothing from opponent. Okay, well, I think I'm just going to attack with the Sphinx, that way I can double block the Gore Clan Wrecker with Courier and Humongulous. The blockers are here. So, yeah, I think this deck is probably best positioned against Rakdos decks. I'm just going to save all my mana here to Sphinx's Insight and Scry 2. Oops. Let's not attack with Humongulous. I'm actually going to... well, I could draw a Quench, I guess. So I should Sphinx's Insight first. There are 2 mana cards I'd want to play instead of the Savant. But it looks like I'm just playing the Savant. Any lands are going on the bottom. Alright. Syndicate Messenger, that is pretty nice. Mass Manipulation is actually going to be sweet here, because I can make it to 8 mana. We're at 6 mana now, which means in 2 turns I can cast this to steal 2 creatures. So I don't think there's anything they could possibly have to win this game. Because it's going to take a lot. There are a lot of cards they have to beat right now. They have to get rid of all my flyers. And they have to be able to beat me stealing 2 of their creatures. And they have to get around a 2/5 with hexproof. Alright, so there's a Scorch Mark on my 2/1. Goodbye, 2/1. Alright. Do I want to bring the Chill? I think I just want the Messenger instead here. I actually have enough mana to play the Chillbringer or the Messenger and get in with Vigilance. So that's nice. I guess, yeah, they're at 7, so they're like super dead if I Chillbringer here. So, yeah. Actually, by that logic, I should have played the Messenger first. That way, if they manage to get anything flying of their own, I can just Chillbring their flyer. Because they're actually still dead. Because they only need to take 7, so 4, 5, plus 2 more from the Messenger, so that would still be 7 damage. The other way around, so I didn't actually need to Chillbring. Unless they have a way to get rid of the Senate Courier or something. Okay, they do have a Consign to the Pit. Get rid of one of my dudes. So I just win by giving my field plus a lot. So let's just do this, because it's cool. Alright, you are dead. From giving plus to my whole field. Alright, so mass manipulation might actually be real good. I'm just not used to being able to make it to like 8 mana. I guess that card is just like unbeatable at 8 mana. At 6 mana, it's like an average card. It's a pretty good uncommon at 6 mana. But I think what makes it rare is that you can play it at 8. And just super win. I think I probably undervalued that. But I have been seeing a lot of aggressive decks that just demolish. I've seen a lot of Gruul decks that you are just dead. All of a sudden they have 5/5s and 6/6s on turn 5. And you don't even make it to 6 or 7 mana because you're just dead. Alright, that's a mulligan. That should be a mulligan, but opponent goes first, so I get to scry 1 and draw. That's bottom. This is not a good start. Did draw my Guild Gate. So now I only need 1 more blue to get this, this Sphinx out. That is not 1 more blue. This might be the no plays till turn 4, and then Sphinx's insight into blue. Draw. And it looks like it is, because I'm not gonna binding anybody. Unless they're like super sick. Senate Griffin. Okay, so the triggered ability would still happen even if I binding to that. Because it only stops activated abilities. I think I actually do want to get rid of that to hopefully allow the Sphinx to do something. Come on, Island. Come on. Yes! That worked out very well. So now Sphinx can maybe do something. Because they don't have a 3-power flyer out anymore. They have a 1-power flyer out. No, thank you. I would rather not trade for a Righteous Zeal. Seraph of the Scales? That's real cute, but I'm gonna have to just say no. I'm gonna have to say stop, and I will deal with that later. So I get to attack them for 7 before they get to untap that Seraph. But they probably just saved the Concordia, Pegasus, and whatever pump spell they were going to kill my dude with. For blocks now. Homunculus doesn't really do anything here. So I'm just going to draw first. Passionate Orator into a Watchful Giant next turn is not bad. Alright, this is where I'm going to start losing some of my flyers. That's pretty sick. I don't know why you would choose to trade the 1/3 instead of the 2/1. I think a 1/3 is a lot better. But I could be wrong. They're probably... Yeah, they're trying to get aggressive and come back at me, so I guess they prefer the 1 power over the 2 toughness. Plus, all of my stuff already was, like, big enough to trade with that guy. Well, that's just game. Yeah, clear the stage is very good. Destroy a creature and return a creature. That, however, would have been another, like, in my opinion, major argument for blocking with the Spire Mangler, because then you get, like, the bonus value out of getting the plus attack. But I guess it's not really that valuable if you aren't trading anything for it, and all my flyers are gone now, so they're not trading anything for it. City Stalwart hit me for 8. They better have a 1-mana spell, or else that was pretty loose, because they could have given that Vigilance. No 1-mana spell. Alright, so they're hitting me for 6 flying next turn, so I need to gain, like, at least 1 life. Here. Don't really think Gate Colossus does it. I'm gonna scry and maybe draw into a win con. I don't think it's possible now though, because I don't have 4 blue. I only have 3 blue. Neither of those are a win con. Alright. If I attack with everybody, I get in for 4 damage. They go down to 7 and I lose my 2/2. That doesn't seem very good, so I'll just attack with the 3/6. Humongulous is here. So my opponent has a lot of flyers, so that's a problem. I feel pretty stupid about my Law of Mage's Binding now, but I wasn't doing anything else that turn, so it used the most of my mana. It made sure that my flyer got in there for a few turns, but the Seraph is destroying me. Okay, so they gave it Vigilance this turn. They did not forget this time. I think I'm still dead because I don't have any flyers. So I can make their Seraph have no power, in which case they just put me down to 1 life this turn. Yeah. Not very good. I guess if they want to block and Death Touch it and turn it into 1/1s, then I am dead no matter what, but I have to assume they don't want to do that. Like, I have to get in somehow here. Okay, nice. I do get to just kill a creature here. Alright, well, let's not die immediately, unless they have a pump spell. The fact that they didn't give it Vigilance is another punt on their end if they can't kill me right now, and they can kill me right now, so that's rough. Alright, and they saved the mana to play a 5-mana card, so perfectly fine play from the opponent. That was not in any way bad. Like the earlier not giving Vigilance. Okay, so I think I do want Sky Tether here. And then I think that's it. I think I just want Sky Tether instead of like a Humongulous. Yeah. Just run it like this. Oops, why did I put Gyre Engineer in there? Get out of here. I'm gonna run it like this. Justiciar's Portal might actually be good too, though. Maybe I should have thrown that in there, just to give one of my flyers first strike to hopefully kill one of theirs. It also untaps it, because it exiles it and brings it back. That might be actually okay in this matchup. Justiciar's Portal might be the card. So this is a really good hand. Like, insanely good. I don't need the 2-mana guy, but I could use the Slimebind, and then I want to draw a Plains with the Shimmer of Possibility here. Yeah, this hand's sick. So I think I cast the Sphinx before... Well, I think I cast the Foresight one before the new Prov one, just because they know about it. So maybe I get them to spend removal. None of these are a Plains. Oh boy. Oh boy. The rest go on bottom though, so we can get to the Plains here. Really need a Plains. Yikes. Like, really, really need a Plains. Any land works, though. Any land gets me to Insight and Sphinx of Foresight. Alright, well... It's not the Plains, but... it's something. Now I can cast everything except Sphinx of New Prov, so this is actually okay. Let's see if they kill it immediately. If not, I get to start scrying, so I get more value. Yeah, value. Don't want you, island, I want Plains. Lame. Now I do want the island. What kind of shit is this? Alright, let's get in there. Hopefully they have that 2-1 Flash Flyer, so I can just, like, shit on it. Oh, they do. Nice. I would rather Slimebind that than Lawmage's binding that. Nice try. Got him. Well, maybe they have another copy. Where's my Plains? That's not a Plains! Come on, deck. You're not a Plains either. Definitely saving Lawmage's binding right now. And if they don't play anything, then I just Senate Griffin main phase 2. Alright, full control. Resolve. Lawmage's binding. Wazam. Nice try. Alright. Do they have another flyer? Or this time they might just actually use a removal spell. There's an Orzhov Locket. And if it's Cope of Vampire, so you're taking 4 in the air. Scry 1, that's not a Plains. Good lord, where it's the Plains. Yeah, I mean, the veterans got Vigilance. There's no reason not to attack with both. I guess they get a net gain of 1 life by doing this. But I also get to have my Sphinx untapped, just in case. So let's drop the Griffin now. Plains. Oh my god. How many cards have we went through? 4... 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 from the Shimmer. There were no Plains there either. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 extra cards and no Plains. Okay, so they did consign my flying guy, so that is a little bit sad. So yeah, that's 9 cards, not counting the ones I just drew every turn. Holy shit! This is a little ridiculous. Alright, they have their own Senate Griffin. Any land, and I'll Chillbringer here. I have put a lot of islands on the bottom, though, because I really needed a Plains. Well, if I lose this game, I'm going to be very, very mad at the Magic Arena Shuffler today. Yeah, at this point I have half my deck on the bottom there. with no planes in it. Or no white sources, period. There's a white source. But it comes into play tapped, so this is bad. Gotta like make it to 6 mana and steal their Griffin, I guess. If not, I just Chillbringer that Griffin and then I can actually block things. Alright, so I do have the 6 mana, so I can Archway Angel next turn and gain some life back. Okay. Things are starting to be not as frightening. I thought I was starting to lose this game, and now I'm like, nope, because I've just got all these cards that I can actually cast now, so they just can't win. I mean, they can, but they probably won't. 7 mana now. I think I do just Archway Angel. I guess 4-3 is bigger than 3-4. Even though I do gain some life, I don't actually need the life right now. I'm at 19. I guess the 3-4 blocks the Senate Griffin well, but I highly doubt that the Senate Griffin's attacking. I guess it attacks into it well as well, so that's kind of rough on my end, but I can just steal it. They've got 2 mana untapped here, so... Oh, let's actually no-block that. 2 mana untapped here. If they do not have a removal spell, I super win, because now I just get to steal 2 creatures. These are mine. Alright. Scary game. Got put off of that plains, or that white mana at all, for a very long time. I think I am going to put the portal in here instead of one of the veterans. The veteran was actually okay in that match. I like all of these cards. I guess that was another game where I had a Humongulous sitting in my hand that I never wanted to cast, so I could just take another Humongulous out. In order to play the Justiciar's Portal. Alright, I think we keep this. It does have a Gate Colossus, which is pretty much a dead card. I kind of forgot about the Gate Colossus. I should have taken that out. But it's got the Sphinx, so I get to scry 3. And it's got the Sphinx, so I have a really good play on turn 4. I do want one of these islands, but I'll put the Guild Gate... Actually, let's keep the Guild Gate instead of... Nah, 3 white mana is definitely enough, so in case I get a 2-drop and a 3-drop... No, I'm going to take the Guild Gate. It makes the Gate Colossus cheaper. We're going to do that. We're going to do that. And we're just going to play Guildgate turn 1 for sure, and probably just Guildgate turn 2. Alright, Plague White from the opponent. Hopefully this start is not too aggressive. Because if not, I have a pretty strong 4, 5, and 6, but they probably have a removal spell on the 4, at least. Drawn mono lands here after scrying 2 to the bottom, so it's awkward. Alright, there's a non-land, but it's not very good. So we're going to cast the Sphinx, it's going to get mortified. In turn 5 we're going to cast the Chillbringer, turn 6 we're going to cast the... Oh, it's going to be Final Paymented, okay. Turn 5 we cast the Chillbringer, turn 6 we cast the Gate Colossus. Hopefully Gate Colossus just gets them. If not, we just have a Watchful Giant. Sphinx of Nuprov is very nice. I'm going to stay on the same plan, and that way Sphinx of Nuprov comes in and just gets there after they spend all their removal spells. See, because now they're spending all their removal spells, and now one of these gigantic things is going to live. And that's a Sky Tether. I might just play the Sphinx and Sky Tether the Griffin now. No, I'll just play the Colossus. Colossus is a faster clock. We'll see if they can remove it. If so, that's a real good start from them, because they have removed multi-things now. Okay, Grasping Thrall. That is really scary. I'm getting to a low life total, but I get to play Sphinx and drop down one of their flyers. So I guess I drop down... Oh, wait, don't do that yet. I think we attack with the Gate Colossus first and see if they block. Do I attack with the Gate Colossus? Because then they can Plague White and a flyer, which could be bad. Yeah. I think we do still send, actually. I guess we, like, die to removal if they don't block. But I think I am okay just trading the Sphinx for one of their flyers and having the Gate Colossus just get there. Okay, they get to draw off the Locket, hopefully no removal. So yeah, the problem with this play is now Sphinx has to trade if they swing in, but that's fine. Okay, they've got no flyers now. Sick, and they didn't even draw one. Send in the Gate Colossus, and we play the Watchful Giant because it's a little safer. Of course, they could flash in that flying guy, which would be very rough. Oh, we're going to give it Death Touch on turn? Well, that was a really good draw. That was a very good draw. Oh, we play the Watchful Giant. Jesus Christ, how many freaking Grasping Thralls do they have? I'm just gonna die to the, like, 50th copy of Grasping Thrall this game. Let's drop the Griffin. Slimebind? Oh boy, I don't think that actually gets us closer to winning, so I'm putting it on bottom, which is a really rough feel, but yeah, I don't think it puts us closer to winning. Which we need to get closer to winning because they've drawn a lot of cards. We're both top decking here. Alright. Debtor's Transport, that is okay because it's on the ground. However, that does just turn into 2 flyers, which is a pretty big problem. If it dies. I think now I just attack with the Senate Griffin next turn. Save everything else to block. Hope they don't have removal. Jesus Christ. Could opponent just, like, not draw the by far greatest card they could have drawn that turn? That would be cute. Don't think I have anything that wins the game here. I guess Mitotic Manipulation is the only thing. And I draw a land. So yeah, Slimebind would have done nothing. Well, that really sucked. But let's hop into the third round. And see how that one goes. So I probably should have just not attacked with the Gate Colossus that one turn. So it could block the white, and then I would still have the flyer. But they drew so well towards the end there that I think even with the Colossus I would have died, but I would have been a better spot with it. I would have been in a better spot with it. These draws are tremendously bad. It is, like, absolutely astounding when you draw a no-land hand on Arena, seeing as it draws 2 hands for you and picks the best one. So now... God, I am really dead. Because if I don't draw exactly right here, which is like land into land, then I just have nothing I can play. Versus, like, if I mulligan this, then I have a 5-card hand, and I'm on the play, so I don't even draw a card for the turn. So, like, there's very few 5-land or 5-card hands that can win any game of Limited, let alone a 5-card hand with my deck that could win. So I think that Magic Arena just shows that I lose this game, but I will mold a 5. We will see if Magic Arena has completely decided our fate here, which I believe it has. Yeah, we're against Gruul. So, odds are they could just, like, drop out the 2-mana 3/3 and then I'm really screwed. Right, well, I guess I can throw the Fairy Duelist out. They didn't play anything on 2, so that's cool. I made it to my Sphinx's Insight to basically sort of unmulligan by drawing a couple cards. See if they play anything on turn 3. Soda Form, Hybrid. Okay. Not gonna block that. Could Sentinel's Mark to have a 2/4 Vigilance, which is pretty good, but I think now is still just the time to draw cards. Probably Sentinel's Mark something larger later. Sentinel's Mark on a Humongulus is pretty cute. I think I'll have 7 toughness. There is the Rhythm of the Wild. That is the I Win LOL card in the set that everyone's complaining about. As the set's busted card. The Mythic Uncommon. So let's see how bad we get stomped. Is that just going to get 2 counters on it? That'd be bad. No, they're going to give it 1 counter in haste, which is an interesting choice from the opponent. Seeing as they could have just made it a 4/3 and then I have nothing on the board that can trade with it, I think that would have been far better, because I don't think they actually have to play that fast here. Alright. Well, kinda was hoping for land into land, just to get these giant ground dudes out to block things. So I guess now all we can do really is just play a veteran, which is not good at all. It does not even block at all here, because they play any land and then the hybrid can get big enough to just destroy my soul. I don't think I'm blocking with either of these yet, but I probably will block with them next turn. Oh, Gruul Beastmaster, I guess I'm dead. I guess I am dead right now. Yeah, that's a pretty big game. Oh, you're gonna offer the trade? Sick. They made the one I could actually trade with bigger. Seems a little weird to me. I probably would have pumped the Guild Mage, that way they had to... Well, I guess they really just didn't want me to block their 2/2 with a 2/3. I probably would have just pumped the Guild Mage and not even attacked with the 2/2, because it's essentially a 6/6 as soon as they have time. So I think that that card is just, like, a lot better than they gave it credit for there. But at the same time, they are on a very aggressive start, so they probably do want to just swing with everything every turn. I do not know. I don't know what's better there. Footlight Fiend? Okay. Footlight Fiend and Gruul. Let's go. That is very adorable on, like, turn 7. I'm just gonna give it haste. Okay. Oh, Bullrat Clan Crusher? Clan Crusher plus Rhythm? Guess I lose. Guess I lose .exe, because now every time they play a creature, it gets a counter, and they can just remove the counter to do 2 damage to any target if they really want. So what do I just take 9 to the face here? I'm really dead this game. Oh boy. guess I just stop more damage this way. Mass manipulation would be sick as soon as I draw another island, which isn't probably going to happen, but if I do... So I think if I Sentinels Mark the Duelist, then it has 4 toughness, which could block one of their 3 power things. If I Sentinels Mark the Flyer, then it can't just die to the Footlight Fiend. Yeah, either way I'm just going to attack with the Vigilant one, I think. So let's make this just not die to the Fiend. That's the plan. Gain a little bit of life. I do like the life gain there a little bit better than using it as a combat trick, but there's a pretty big argument for just using it as a combat trick. That might be better, because then I could block the Beastmaster with Humongulous and then pump it. They're just giving haste here? Okay. I guess because there's, like, nothing I can trade for on the board. Yeah, this is bad. I guess I can kill that thing and then just, like, die? Let me just do that. Take 4. I guess I'll give them the option of letting me keep the Vigilant Flyer. Yeah, I'm very dead. Well, I have not played against the Rhythm of the Wild Gruul deck now, and now I'm playing against it. It's not particularly fun. I have seen the deck and heard about the deck, though. It is living up to the hype right now. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's living up entirely to the hype, because I managed to get them to 11. Based on the hype around it, I thought I would just be dead before I could even do anything. Oh my god, and a Titanic Brawl to save your guy? Jesus frickin' Christ. Lit. Well, on to game 2. See if anything can be done about the Gruul menace. Just probably a no. Quench seems bad, because Quench is, like, exciting that maybe I could get rid of the Rhythm, but if they get the Rhythm out, then Quench literally does nothing all game. Which is really bad. I think I just run it back, honestly. Don't even want to Sky Tether, really. I guess I could get to make their guy Defender. That basically just removes it. Maybe I do want the Sky Tether instead of one of these stupid 2/3s. Maybe just instead of one of these Humonguluses, because the Humonguluses aren't even doing anything. Because opponent has, like, way more than 2 toughness on everything they have. Maybe this is when I pivot into High Alert and actually try it out one game, because otherwise all my creatures are just so much smaller than theirs. Yeah, the plan is to just try to get there with flying. Still. I'll just run it like this. I'd like to play first. It is worth noting, and I guess I forgot because that last game lasted so long that I mulled down to 5 there. Or maybe that was the last round and I'm just going insane from playing so much Magic in a short period of time. That's possible. I could just be going insane. So let's scry 2, hopefully get the white, white, blue, blue Sphinx on top. That would be awesome. Sphinx's Insight? Sphinx's Insight turn 4 instead. It's kind of cool. I guess next turn I can just draw a land, and then after that I can Sphinx's Insight, because I do have a whole lot of really expensive cards that I actually want to cast this game. Well, not a whole lot. I've got a 5-drop and a 6-drop, so I do want this land. Not going to Sentinel's Mark just yet. We will save that as a combat trick. Next turn comes Sphinx's Insight. That is a 3/3. Okay. Well, I got another 5-drop, so next turn is pretty good. Rhythm of the Wild. GG. This game is over. It's not quite over. I have, like, mono flyers. I get to tap down that guy, followed by another flyer next turn. And hopefully just fly over their head. And get them killed. Titanic Brawl. To fight my flyer down. Okay. I will take the 2-for-1. Let's get another flyer down instead. Get in there for 2 here. Nothing from our opponent. Interesting. I think I'll just play the Orator, actually, and just save the Sentinel's Mark still for a combat trick. Which I should have thought of before I played my flyer. And I should have just played the Orator first to gain 1 life here, but don't think it'll matter. But it is worth noting. I didn't think I was going to be playing the Orator this turn. I was just so much on the Sentinel's Mark plan. Alright, so I guess they just drew nothing but lands? Or nothing but 7-mana cards with their 6 lands out? Not sure. Either way, I'll take the win. I did not get 2-0'd by the Gruul Rhythm of the Wild deck, so that makes me happy. Even if this is the round that we end on. I'll take any win I can get here. So this turned into actually a match. We have a game here where whoever fights the hardest will hopefully win. I do think that their deck fights harder than mine in general, though, so could probably just end up losing. Opponent goes first, so I get to draw a card. I have Law Mage's Binding. I have Senate Courier on 3. This is a risky keep, but I don't want to just lose off a 5-card hand again. Like, I guess I just go down to 6 cards here, but I'm on the draw. I'm gonna keep this. I have a Courier and a Law Mage's Binding if I draw any lands. If I just draw a Azorious Guildgate off the top, we just go for it. Alright, no Guildgate. Now I really need to draw 2 lands. So that's another 4-drop. It's not even a 2-drop or a 3-drop. Alright, there's one of them. One more land. Preferably a Plains, but even if it's not, I'm in a good spot, I think. Opponent has a very good start, though, so I wouldn't really say I'm in a good spot anymore. Regardless. Okay, so I do have turn 4 Senate Griffin. Now I have the 1/4 out to block their 2/1 if they don't play any kind of removal. They are down to 3 cards in hand. But Doesn't really matter if they're on a really aggressive start. Alright, did not get a Plains just yet. So I don't get to play the Sphinx of New Prov. I will cast a Senate Griffin. Scry into hopefully white mana. That is a Plains. Keep that boy on top. Next turn might just cast Homunculus, actually. No attacks here. My Senate Griffin does not block the Vandal well, but the Senate Courier does. Let's see what opponent is doing here. Mammoth Spider. So I think I'll play... I think I'll actually just play the Sphinx and plan to Law Mage's Binding that next turn. If they don't play anything else scarier. Which, I mean, they're Gruul, so it's likely they do. I guess they can make the hybrid a 6/6, which is a pretty big problem. But I think I can outrace that, because I can get them for 8 in the sky every turn, which is 7. Oh my god. Seems pretty good. Seems pretty good, opponent. Well, now we know what the plan is against the 6/6. The plan is to draw another land. I think I'm going to get hit by the 6/6 regardless of what happens here. Next turn they just make a 6/6 and go for it, so... I think I want to bind and start hitting them with flying. But, no, I'm just going to Homunculus, because the thing is, I'm going to die to the 6/6, even if I start attacking them flying. And my only way to not die to the 6/6 is to Mass Manipulation it or Law Mage's Binding, so I need to keep the Law Mage's Binding just in case I can't Mass Manipulation it. And if I get to the point where I can Mass Manipulation it, then I also just have a different win condition than the Flyers. So, like, yeah, now I can Mass Manipulation it, so... So I can... just have a 6/6 as a threat. So I think now it's probably okay to Law Mage's Binding the Mammoth Spider. Beastmaster only gives plus power, right? Yes, okay. So I think actually, I'll just cast a Watchful Giant. That way they can't attack well with the Beastmaster. Next turn I'm probably manipulating their hybrid. But if I'm in a situation where I don't have to, then I could try to save mana to get a double creature steal off it and just really win. They're sending the Beastmaster as well. Okay, no Beastmaster. Yeah. I'll chump it. Gore Clan Wrecker from our opponent. Don't like that they're drawing just mono good cards. Okay, so now at 7 mana here, I think I might rather just Binding the hybrid. Then manipulate it, because if I draw one more land now, then I have Mass Manipulation. So I think I just pass Law Mage's Binding when they move to attacks. Yeah. Let's just not deal with that. Of course, if they have a Naturalize, that's very bad. Still have threats. Do they just have their plus $2 creatures thing here? Be a little weird. Alright. Okay. So we're gonna kill that, and we'll kill that. You just jump with a Humongulous? Yeah? Guess I can double block the Menace guy. They only get to kill my Griffin, and I still have the Humongulous then to block the Spider from then on. Alright, so I'm taking 6 here, which is not great. But I got to kill some dudes, and now I've just got a bunch of big booty dudes to block. Seems like a kind of a loose attack from the opponent, but I will absolutely take it. So if I draw any land, we just win. Sick. GG. That might be the match. That would be awesome. Let's see. We'll find out. Could just draw really sick cards. That is not a really sick card right there. Rampaging Rendhorn on top. That's pretty good. I do have a lot more creatures than them though, so I probably still just kill them. We're gonna Active Trees and Rubble Belt Runner. I think that means it'll stay on their field after this. Oh, nope. No, it does not. Alright, so we drop Humongulous, give that Vigilance. I'll attack. If they give Rendhorn haste, then I just block with Humongulous. And if they give it the counter, then it doesn't matter that I don't have anything to block it. So they're down to 5, and they're drawing, they're top decking Rendhorn, which I think means that they're dead. I don't think there's any possible play that they could do with this Rendhorn that they wouldn't just die. Because they have one blocker. One blocker, they block 3 and take 1,000,000. Yep. Oh my god, we got there. I didn't think I was going to win that match, but we did it. This is already more wins than I thought I'd get with this deck, because I drafted very poorly, picking up high alerts and stuff. We are at the gym reward, which is very nice. That means I will be able to do another traditional draft tomorrow. Because that is at least 800 gems is my reward here. Alright. I like how my draft deck images a tower defense, and I didn't even end up playing it, because I'm not playing high alert. Alright, so what did we learn so far today? Don't draft high alert unless you're certain you can draft around it. You've already got some cards that work with it. Secondly, mass manipulation is the real deal. That card is sick. I have also learned that Magic Arena is not a fan of giving me good hands. It makes me mulligan when I don't want to mulligan, and then don't mulligan when I do want to mulligan. See, because it's like I don't know what to do here, because I can mulligan. It's just like up to Magic Arena whether this hand will actually work out. And same with a mulligan. I'm gonna mulligan. Looks like this one worked out. That was a good mulligan. I will keep Mass Manipulation. It's a really expensive card. It does not add anything to this hand, but card is sick late game, so we will try. So if I Shimmer of Possibility and there's nothing super good, I probably just want to pick up a blue mana source. Humongulous here. Alright, that makes me even more likely to just pick up a blue source, that way I can cast Humongulous on 5. Oh, Jesus. Well, I guess it's Law Mage's Binding. That was a bunch of good cards, but Law Mage's Binding is something I could definitely cast and will definitely do something good. Alright, this is going to be a slow game, but luckily opponent just has a 1/1. Opponent is on Golgari, so they're probably Jund. Yep, they are Jund. I'm just going to keep getting drained by this Life Linker till next turn. Alright, they do have a Burning Tree Vandal. They want to play as a 3/2, which is fair. Go to my turn, I'm going to drop my Flyer. Next turn I will drop my Humongulous, which blocks their field that they currently have very well. Undercity's Embrace. Well, rest in peace, Syndicate Messenger. I guess they really wanted their Burning Tree Vandal to survive. I guess this way they get 2 loots out of it, which is quite nice. Oh, they're looting away their Menace guy? Opponent's hand must be very good. Which is not good for me. I'm very scared. Would have rather that been a blue source, that way I could make it to mass manipulation for sure. This way I'm not sure if I will be able to, but we'll find out. Mammoth Spider. Alright, well that stops the 1/1s for certain, but my Humongulus stops their stuff. So I mean, yeah. It's gonna be a long game. But I think I like that, because now it's gonna be a long game where I have mass manipulation in hand. Those games are pretty hard to lose. You can make it to 8 with the mass manipulation. That is the GG. That is the I win lol. Vindictive Vampire, that's pretty sick on this board. So now whenever we start trading, things just start going really well for them. Okay, so now I just have all of the instants. Could give a Humongulus, Vigilance. Yeah, Sentinel's Mark doesn't really do anything here. So I think I just end up using it on blocks as a combat trick. Same with the Fairy Duelist, I just use it on blocks as a combat trick. And an additional blocker. Lob Mage's Binding, I just save because their best thing has like 3 power. It's not very scary. They send in the Thirsting Shade. It can get +1/+1 until end of turn? I'm gonna block with the Humongulus, and if they give it Death Touch, then I Fairy Duelist. Other than that, I mean, I guess they... Okay. They gain a life and I lose a life. Or I guess they gain 2 life and I lose a life. Not sure what that was about. Oh, maybe they have a Spectacle card here. They're trying to get down. That was a guaranteed way to get Spectacle. Blade Juggler. They could have just cast that for 5. I probably would have just cast that for 5 if I were them. Alright, it's Blade Juggler. It doesn't really do anything here. It's got 2 toughness, and I have 2 5s. This Vindictive Vampire is quite good, but unfortunately Lob Mage's Binding does not turn off its ability, so don't really have an answer to that. Except for, like, stealing it later. Senate Griffin? I have 6 mana, right? Yeah, I can play a Griffin, save up a Duelist or a Sentinel's Mark, which is probably okay. That is a land. I've got 6 mana. I do want 2 more mana for manipulation. I think that is the plan. We'll leave it there. Plan is the manipulation. Hopefully opponent just plays some large creatures that don't have haste. I will just slowly die to the vampire, which is unfortunate. Next turn, I could bind the Mammoth Spider to start getting in there with the flyers. Or not, I mean, they could just skewer it. I guess I'll give it the mark. So it survives this turn. Survive the skewer. That was pretty nice, because it was kind of like a 1 for 0. Like, they spent their Spectacle card, and I used my card as well, but my card permanently gives value. Like, my guy's permanently a 4/4 flyer now, with Vigilance. So it's not like I lost value by using it in response to that. So yeah, since it's Vigilant now, I think I do bind the Spider. Yeah, if I hadn't have given it Vigilance now, I would not have done that, but we got the Vigilance, so let's go at it. It's going to take a long time. They've gained a lot of life, and they can gain even more. So if they have any kind of cards where they have to sacrifice a creature to do something special, then They're just going to get straight value because they get to drain a life from me, and they just get to sack the Mammoth Spider, which is not doing anything anymore. Alright. They are on the suspicious attack plan. They're probably just really trying to hit a certain card. Block Humongulous. Or block with Humongulous. Or maybe they're on the plan of just discarding all their lands and drawing into something sick. Oh, they discarded an Acrobat? What is their hand? Because Acrobat's actually a 5/2 that actually would have traded with Humongulous. Hackrobat. Can get Death Touch. That's pretty important. Okay. So that's a big deal. Rixmati Reveler, did they spend the thing to draw 3 cards? I think they did. That's very nice. Okay. It's not a land just yet, so we'll play the Savant. Scry 2. Neither of these are lands, they're going to the bottom. Get in there with the Griffin. Things are starting to look pretty bad. Hopefully they drew a large creature without haste. That would be super good for me. So, if I block with Humongulous, they can give it Death Touch till end of turn. But then I can give it -2, but then in order to make it kill it, they'd have to give it +2, -2, so then they would trade. So I think I do block with Humongulous. We're going to say your dude has no power this turn. And if I were my opponent, I might just decide not to pump it then. And we can just bounce off each other for a second. I should have blocked with the 1/1 flyer as well. That was a big punt on my end. That forces them into the trade instead of this, but I think they might take the trade anyway, and I really hope they take the trade. If not, I mean, it also just stalls the game, which is my game plan here. Opponent is just playing a lot of small dudes that don't really affect the game a lot, and I want a big dude that affects the game a lot. Oh, I need another island. I still have 3 blue at this point? Jesus, I have like 9 islands in here, come on. I've got definitely more islands than planes. Well, that sucks, I didn't even notice that. I still need another blue source. Well, that was a really, really good draw for our opponent. That just exactly kills Griffin. So now I don't have any kind of threats to swing back at them with. And I'm just getting drained every turn, and I need an island, which I have way more islands than planes in this deck, but of course I will draw 5 planes and 2 islands instead. Instead of just 3 islands and 4 planes. Which is still, like, weighted way more towards white than it statistically should be. Yeah. This is not great. That's an instant? I forgot get the points in instant. Well, opponent drew mono really good cards. They did loot a lot off the Vandals, I guess. Sphinx's Insight. I mean, that's getting cast. Should not have spent double blue there, Auto Tapper. But thanks. I can appreciate that. I guess, if that's how you feel about it. And maybe Magic Arena just really likes white mana, so they're going to give me all of these planes, and they're just not going to loot. I don't know what's happening here. That guy can get +3/+3. It can be 4. It doesn't quite kill Humongous. I guess I take 2 now. But next turn I steal 3 creatures. Whatever they scry to the top, we're about to find out. They're going to gain a bunch of life. Okay, so they're just going to make it big enough to survive. They are going to hit me for 4. I am definitely stealing Vindictive Vampire. Okay. Blue, 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 and 6. I get to steal 3 cards. So I'll take the Vindictive Vampire. Hackerbat, I just need like a 3-power guy and then I'm fine. So I'll take Vindictive Vampire, Blade Juggler, Vandal. Yeah. Let's do it. I wonder what they have in hand, because it's whatever they scryed on top. They have 4 black sources, so they could make the Thrifting Shade big enough to just trade off of the Humongous. Or to just eat a Humongous, so maybe I should have also just killed the Thrifting Shade. Or Thirsting Shade. Thirsting Shade is a really big problem. Yeah, I should have taken the Shade instead of the Blade Juggler. That might get me killed. But if they make it a 5/5 and I block with Humongous and Blade Juggler, it just trades for one of them. So I think I'll just attack like that. And then I'm just ready to block Thirsting Shade with Humongous and Blade Juggler. If they play a Swamp here, that's really, really bad, because then I have to trade Blade Juggler and Burning Tree Vandal for the Thirsting Shade. That was a really good draw for them. It was card lets them sack on their creature that had a pacifism on it, which is always just the nuts. Alright, now they're just like a bunch of mana. They're thinking about attacking. I probably would not. Alright, no attack. And here we go. Sphinx of New Prov is not a bad draw. We've got our threats, which is just to get in there with flyers. Gonna have to make some rough blocks to get rid of that Thirsting Shade, but you do what you gotta do. How many cards are in our decks? They have 13, I have 17. They might even just mill out. Cult Guildmage is pretty good. That's going to do 1 to me every turn, so now I'm on like a 9-turn clock minimum. Or actually, 9-turn clock maximum, because I'm going to have creatures dying from Vampire. So it's actually fine. I cannot save up any instants anymore, though, thanks to its ability to make me discard cards. So I'll stop pretending that this land is anything good. I'm not so sure about that, but it's cool with me. We will make the trade. I'll drain you for 1. Nice. Now it's a 10-turn clock. Alright, well, Gate Colossus is kind of just the straight nuts right now. GG, question mark? Opponent is reading all of its ridiculous abilities. It seems. Alright, get in there with the flyers. And pass the turn. Starting to get a headache. Something fierce. I will go ahead and play out this whole... Jesus Christ, what a top deck! Are you fucking serious? Wow! Jesus Christ! That was exceptionally good draw. Oh man. I mean, so was Gate Colossus, but still. So I mean, I send in the Gate Colossus, the only thing they can block with is their 5/5 right now. I think I'm still fine. But I looked away for 1 second, and I looked back, and I was like, holy shit. They have to chump with the 5/5, so I'm pretty sure I just win. Since I get to force this chump here. Oof. Another land for our opponent, which actually is not the worst. That Thirsting Shade is gonna save them for sure by being just massive. So they have 8, 9, 10, 11, so they get to pump it 3 times? Does it cost 2 or 3? Oh, it costs 3? They didn't even have enough mana to pump it as much as I thought they could earlier. I was never at threat of having to trade 2 creatures for the Thirsting Shade. I could have just kept blocking with Humongous. Alright, well that game worked out, basically entirely because of mass manipulation. So I think I just run it back. Just maybe is another game where I want the Sky Tether. Sky Tether is a lot better than I keep thinking it's going to be. I just feel like I'm consistently wanting that card. But like, what am I taking out in this matchup for it? Like, I like these just fat butt creatures to block their little stuff. Maybe I do take out 1 Humongous, but Humongous put in a lot of work there, just blocking things forever. I'm just gonna run it back this time, actually. Well, Veteran, maybe. Nah, they had a lot of 3 power, so I'm not a big fan of the Veterans. So let's put a Sky Tether in instead of one of them. Guess I could put in Prying Eyes as well. Then it's like if I make it to the late game, I just go crazy. But Veteran does help you make it to the late game just by being an early creature, which I don't have a lot of. Yeah, I still feel like if I make it to the late game, I'm winning, so I don't need another ridiculous late game card. Alright. We're gonna mulligan again. I've pretty consistently mulliganing today. This hand is also not very good, but I really hate mulliganing to 5. Now we have turn 2 Shimmer of Possibilities. That was a pretty good draw. They're just going to drop the Reveler out and loot. Fair enough. Alright, something good. These are all pretty awkward. I think the best thing on this, like, on this board here is Senate Courier, but at the same time, Mass Manipulation is just like you win. But if I pick up Mass Manipulation here, both of my cards do absolutely nothing. I have 1 removal spell, and a card that doesn't do anything unless I have a creature out, so I kind of feel like I have to play the Senate Courier, which is just a terrible spot to be trapped in, because Mass Manipulation is such a game-ending card, and it single-handedly has won several games for me in this draft today, so really rough to have to put Mass Manipulation on bottom, but we'll deal with it. I'm definitely very glad about my choice here, because now they've got just 2 guys out. Probably going to play a guy every single turn, and just really curve out on me. Yep, there's a Thirsting Shade. Yeah, like, I feel like I would be in a tremendously worse spot if I didn't have this Courier out. I did draw Slimebind, though. But I would still just be, like, definitely taking a lot of damage each turn, where, like, with this guy, I get to not take damage until they draw a removal spell. At which point, I'm just dead. They did seem to have a lot of removal spells, so this could be pretty bad. As soon as they draw, like, Get the Point, I think. Get the Point would be their best removal spell right now, because they did have, like, the 4 damage thing that doesn't do anything on the Courier currently. It has 6 toughness. And nothing from the opponent. I like that. Not the land that I just drew. I like the nothing from my opponent. Really just hoping that the Courier walls them off long enough for me to draw cards that aren't lands. There's their 5th mana if they have to get the point. Fairy Duelist is not a land, which is good, but does not do very much. I guess it gets to eat their Burning Tree Vandal if they do swing with it after they kill my Courier. So that's pretty cool. And more importantly, it is just like any creature once again. I get to have like any creature on the board. So there's still no removal. Fan of that. Whenever that does damage to a player, the player discards a card, so I'm probably going to end up Slime Binding that. There's a 3/4 Flying Angel. Guess I just make that guy Defender. That way I can cast the Angel out this turn. Yeah, that does basically the same thing. I'm never attacking them with a ground creature. And if they have some kind of sack effect to get the tokens out of it, they still could have done that if I had a Slime Bind on it instead. So looking at my creatures, they definitely have a removal spell. They're just picking which one they want to do. Maybe not. They're reading their own creatures as well. Maybe they have some really specific cards, like cards that fight and stuff like that. Sending in. So, like, I saw the thing that does 4 to 1 thing and 1 to everybody else, but, like, that would still just kill one of these guys, so I guess I just double block? What do they have? Just have, like, multiple pump spells? They just have to get the point. Okay. Senate Griffin's pretty nice. seeing as it's not a land, and it also lets me get rid of that other land, so it's like it just drew me a card. So very nice, Senate Griffin. I appreciate that. I am going to go ahead and send the Angel in, because if they attack with the Vandal, I am just trading... Well, I'm just blocking it with my Duelist. Sack a creature. Yeah, I'll sack the 1/2 flyer then. How about that, opponent? Sending in the Thirsting Shade, not gonna block it because my creature will just die. I gain 2, they're up to 11. I drew another land after screwing a land on bottom. Think I am on the aggressive. I can kill them next turn if they can't get rid of my flyers, because I can slime bind their life-linking creature. However, if they have some way to sacrifice their afterlife guy, that would be very bad. And just stuff like that. They do get to kill one of my flyers, which is pretty lame. But they are still dead in 2 turns. If they don't get another removal spell. Okay, if they don't get 2 more removal spells, then they are dead next turn. There's another... Was that a second Revelers? They got 2 Rixmati Reveler? Dude, double rare. Go opponent. Alright, we did it! Oh my god. This is a really stressful draft. I do not feel like my deck is very good at all. We got a Mythic at the out of the random reward? Angel of Grace. Very nice. Wow. Alright, we are 3 wins in. That means we broke even. We get our 1,500 gems back. I really did not expect that out of this deck. Let me actually change the picture. We will respect the deck because it got at least 3 wins and give it the correct picture. The correct picture, of course, is Mass Manipulation. That is the game-winning card in a lot of these games. Let's just hop in and see how much we can do. See if this is like last time where I got my 3 wins and then it was just 2 losses immediately. I guess this already isn't like last time because I already have a round loss. Last time I just went 3 wins into 3 losses. Alright. Yeah, that's a keeper. A Shimmer of Possibility into a land here. That is basically the only thing I'm gonna want to pick up off of the Shimmer, because I have pretty much everything else I want covered. Now I have a Gate Clause, so I really want lands. Mass Manipulation! Ah, stop doing that. Stop being on top when I have to Shimmer for something else. I think I take an island over a plains. I don't think I have anything that's double white. And it is slightly possible that I'll want 4 blue mana very late in this game for a Mass Manipulation. Opponent is on Gruul, so that's kind of spooky, kind of worrying. There are some quite good Gruul decks, and I think Gruul probably is the best guild against my current deck. Maybe it's Orzhov. They do have the turn 3 Rhythm of the Wild, as you do. Fairy Duelist is not going to do anything against giant creatures that are getting rhythmed, so I'm just going to get it out there to have something on the field. Need to draw land. So hopefully they play something small enough to Slime Bind here so I don't have to use Law Mage's Binding just yet. Come on, like 4 power thing. Double Rhythm of the Wild. Oh, we're probably losing this round. I say that like every round, but this is a horrifically bad start to game 1. We are stuck on 3 mana, and opponent has double Rhythm of the Wild out. So, we have like 5 mana and 4 mana cards in our hand. Or 5 mana and 7 mana cards in our hand that we'll just never get to cast. Alright, so they're making the Wayfinder a 4/3, so that makes me happy, just in that there's something that Slime Bind actually does something against. But that also makes me unhappy in that, oh no. Okay. Well, actually, Rumbling Ruin is just fine, because I already wasn't going to block anyway. Let's just Slime Bind that boy to shut that off. Scorch Mark my flyer, okay. Fine with me. I needed a land game. Would appreciate one. Opponent might need lands too. They are on 4 mana right now and they just put a 6 mana card in their hand. However, like literally anything they can cast is just ginormous. So, yeah, it's a 5/5. Seems good. So I could shut off the Beastmaster. Because the Beastmaster is going to get in for 5, and if they have another creature, they get to give it a +1/+1 counter and haste and +5 for that turn. So I take 5 plus... I probably take a lot of damage next turn. I don't think I'm winning this game at all. I'm just going to play Griffin out. Yeah, don't want Humongulous. Like, if they don't play another creature off this Beastmaster, it's not that bad to just take 5, but if they do, then this is really bad. God, they have double Rhythm of the Wild, double Scorchmark. They have the Zertog Goblin, they've got the Beastmaster. Wayfinder seems okay. Opponent got the nuts. Yeah, I kind of forgot that Slime Bind says it can still attack if it wants to. I guess I'll just take 14 and cry on the inside. Yeah, that... Alright. That's game. It isn't technically game, because I could pacify their 5/5 and block their 4/4, but if they had literally any other creature, they get to put a counter on it and give it haste, so if they had any other creature that just had a base power of 3 or more, I was dead. Which they had a Rumbling Ruin, so if they had another land in their hand, then I definitely was dead. So, that was real bad. Let's put a Sky Tether in. Ooh, that was a bad time. Fairy Duelist probably doesn't really do anything in this match. Definitely like my... Well, no. Fairy Duelist probably does more than Humongulous, to be honest. Humongulous is not humongous at all compared to their deck. Maybe toss in a Justiciar's Portal instead of a Humongulous, because it just really does not do anything. And roll in like this. Now we'll play first. It's a keep. I have like probably the second best card in my deck on turn 4, so might as well. We're just gonna drop the Duelist out like right now. Not even gonna wait till their end phase. Because it is not going to block and eat a dude against this deck. I like this hand quite a bit. This is quite an aggressive flyer hand. You're just going to Scorch Mark him, yep. Yeah, so if I played my Fairy end phase instead, the exact same turn of events happens. Here is Sphinx of New Prov. Let's see if it is even possible for my flyers to race a Rhythm of the Wild. Amplifier? Beginning of your upkeep, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Until your next turn, its base power becomes twice the card's power, and its toughness becomes twice the card's toughness. Put the revealed cards in the bottom of your library in any order. That is really threateningly good. So I'm going to Chillbringer, and then I'm going to swing in with both my flyers next turn, and Justiciar's Portal the Chillbringer. Seems pretty strong. Yeah, next turn I can Sphinx's Insight and Justiciar's Portal. Yeah, see, they revealed a 2-1, and that thing's a 5-3. That's how strong that thing is. I might actually win this game, because opponent doesn't seem to have any gas, other than that Amplifier that I'm just going to re-tap. Alright. I can actually just decide after they reveal their card. So yeah, that's a 9-9. Probably gonna tap it, but I'll wait till they go to combat anyway, because they might write in something scarier. Rumble and Ruin. Okay. I think I win. They're gonna have to kill both these flyers for me to not win. And I can chump block with a couple veterans next turn. Very glad I put Justiciar's Portal in, because it won me this game. Yep. Ooh, we got a game off on that deck. Can we get a match off? Unlikely, but I'll try. Let's just hop right back into it. I like our changes to the deck through the sideboard. Don't feel like swapping it up again. Sorry if I'm getting a little tired sounding. The headache that I mentioned a while ago is getting worse. But you fight, you overcome. Alright. Waiting on your opponent. Your opponent is choosing which player will play first. Alright. Oh god, why do you do this to me? I'm gonna keep, and I'm gonna lose because I kept this. Well, maybe not. It's a good start on the draws. Opponent is off to a good start as well, with turn 2, 3-3, which just blanks my 2-3s. I think I'm a slimy boy. No Rhythm of the Wild on turn 3 this game. I like that. I do not like drawing Gate Colossus right now. I will say that. So their stupid Goblin can get +2/+2. Which means that the 2/3s are yet again useless. Really not a fan of this card. I wish that I spent the picks that I spent on High Alert drafting just some actually good cards. It probably would have been good to do. So I mean, the veterans aren't terrible now, because now I can double block and trade one of them for the Axebane Beast, or trade one of them for the Goblin. Oh, fuck. Why do you always have the Beastmaster? I always have the Beastmaster when I have the Slimebind as well, so I just look stupid. It's like, why did you Slimebind? That doesn't really do much of anything to that guy. I don't think Senate Griffin is that good right now, but if I Sage Azorious Savant, I can't even Savant and Binding. So Savant is just like getting a 2/1 instead of a 3/2 flyer. And scrying one less. God. And scrying one more, I guess. I think I do actually want this. That way next turn I can play Savant and Binding. Yes, pretty bad. I think I'm just on the defensive. So we just block like that. See what happens. This pump spell would be quite bad. Alright. That ended okay. Bunch of 1-for-1 trades. Like, because if I can survive to long game with this hand, I have, like, Archway Angel into Gate Colossus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, that'll be my next 2 turns of plays. Next turn, Archway Angel. Turn after that, Gateway Colossus. Hope that gets there. I could have attacked with the Veteran, but then they just block with Goblins, so nothing happens. If they attack and they don't have a pump, they get to trade the Beast for my Veteran, and that's it. So I will double block. It's going to be bad if they have the pump, but I also want to just make them have it. Get rid of the pump. Alright, no pump. Sick. There's a Rubble Belt Recluse. I'll bind that. That way I can actually just cast the Angel this turn. Hopefully they don't follow that up with another gigantic dude, but they are Gruul, so they probably will. However, this managed to let me get a Gate Colossus out before that, so now I can just block that with a Gate Colossus, and hopefully they don't have a pump spell, and if they do, if I ever draw my second Azorious Guild Gate, I can get the Gate Colossus back, so probably still good to just block it. They are required to attack with it, so it is possible that they don't have a pump spell and they're making the forced attack. They probably have a Scorch Mark, though. We saw 2 Scorch Marks. So I guess Scorch Mark is quite good against the Gate Colossus. But I think if they had one, they would have done it already. Not that they would have done it earlier in the game, but they would have done it earlier in this turn. Okay, yeah. So they just play a Mammoth Spider and we just start getting there with the Gate Colossus. Probably chump with the Zertog Gomlet at this point. Oh, they can't, because it doesn't have enough toughness. They don't even block. Alright, Sphinx of Foresight. I can start scrying on my upkeep and hoping to hit Mass Manipulation off of the scries. And a scoop from the opponent. Oh, this very loose Azorious deck has gone 4-1 so far. And the headache has only gotten worse. Because I am trying very hard. We've made it to 1,800 gems and 5 packs. I am incredibly happy no matter what happens in round 5 here. This deck has gone much farther than I expected. Nice username. Nice username. That's a little... that's a little cringy. That Arena just allows you to just be like, I'll just do a direct link to my Twitch account. Please go watch it, guys. Speaking of, if anyone's watching this video, I do have a Twitch account. It is twitch.tv/GomletX. Check it out. Just hypocritical as fuck. Alright. Let's see how this game goes. I get to play Impassioned Orator on turn 2, which is much more action than I usually have for about 6 turns in the game. They've got double islands, so they might have the Essence Scatter. Cost 2 blue. They're just going to quench it? Okay. I am very happy with them using Quench on that instead of anything else in this hand. There's a Gateway Sneak. Pretty cool. I can Slime Bind to just completely counteract that, or I could just play a dude. So I'll just play a dude. I'll play the Veteran because I am much less sad about them doing anything about that. The Courier I would be a little bit sad. Alright, Gateway Sneak cannot block this turn. They get to draw a card. Very nice. No land is pretty rough. So we send the Veteran in because it's vigilant. So I think I play Courier. If they have enough gates to just get in there with Gateway Sneak, then they're on that auto win deck. And yeah, if I Slime Bind, they would have just quenched it anyway. So it was a better play to play the Courier first, because I think we would rather have the Gateway Sneak be Slime-bound than have anything else resolve. This is a really good start for our opponent. This is just how Gateway Sneak wins. It's just use literally anything you possibly can to make sure Gateway Sneak gets in there. And then if you just draw a card every turn, then you're just playing a game where you draw 2 cards every turn and your opponent draws 1 card every turn, and a game like that is basically impossible to lose. I don't want to just cast the Sphinx, because they probably just have a counter again. They do seem to be heavily into those counter spells. And also, if I cast Sphinx, there's no way I'm blocking Gateway Sneak with it. But I also don't just want to Slime Bind, because then I'm not putting anything on the board. I think I'm just going to cast the Veteran. No counter from the opponent. We'll see if they do anything to get rid of the Veteran. If they don't, I am definitely just slamming the Veteran into there. Are they going to mill me? They're going to mill me. I'm happy with that mill because it didn't hit... Well, it hit Law Mage's Mining, so that kind of sucks. But it didn't hit Mass Manipulation. Did not hit the Win Con. Alright, well, we kind of just got to do it. Yeah, they had the counter the whole time. Well, that sucks. That is very irritating, but they only have 3 cards in their hand now. So now... hopefully I just get to start killing them with a flyer? Jesus fucking Christ. Apologies for the language, but I should note that my videos are all R-rated or M-rated or whatever. I have my Twitch account set to not allow children in. And YouTube, I don't know. This deck is very, very irritating. That's all I'm gonna say. Sphinx's Insight. Into lands, great. Sick draws. If I drew on any better, then my opponent would be dead like a million turns ago. Oh, sick. Gateway Sneak gets unblockable. Good for you. Might just want to Slime Bind that. I have plenty flyers. I'm more worried about them just drawing a card every turn. Fairy Duelist. Doesn't quite get there. I guess it does with Sentinel's Mark. Yeah. Just play a Veteran, and then Fairy Duelist and Sentinel's Mark the Fairy Duelist so that it's a 2/4 and it just kills the Griffin. Alright. Does not seem like they had a counter. They didn't really think about that or anything. Yep. We get the blocky. And now my field is all vigilant. You're just going to attack every turn. Never mind. You get to attack with 2/2/3s that just get blocked every turn. I'm going to save the Guild Gate in case I draw Gate Colossus. But now we are on just top deck.deck, so it's literally just who draws more lucky. So we'll find out who is luckier today. So far it seems like me, because they got a Smothering Tithe at a really bad time. Actually, we'll all attack just so I can untap it, because why not? Oh my god, this headache is so bad. Can I win this match through a headache? How is this the final round, by the way? I am impressed by our opponent. That they are playing the cards that they are playing, and they are in the 4-1 bracket. It's definitely a much more interesting deck than you usually see. Well, if I draw Gate Colossus or they mill Gate Colossus, it's just like super game. That's a Chillbringer. Chillbringer on the Fairy Duelist? Okay. That way I can't just block it, I guess. They have not milled by Mass Manipulation yet, which makes me think that there's very, very low chance of them winning this game. If they want to kill a Veteran, that's fine, because then I get to get some damage in, but I think, yeah, I think they just trade for the Griffin. Good play from opponent. This is a ridiculous game. I think they are definitely on the mill me plan now that I have 9 cards in my deck, but do not think that the mill me plan will work, seeing as I have Gate Colossus, followed by double Guild Gate if they do just counter it. However, if they have like Justiciar's Portal or some more cards to mill me at this point, anything that mills me anything is tremendously scary at this point. Mass Manipulation. They only have 2 creatures out. So that's 8 mana to play it. But it could get countered by a Quench, but they have played triple Quench already? Like, what are the odds of them having 4 Quench? Let's just play it next turn, to be safe. Like, if they have a flat counter, they already have enough mana to do it. Like, if they have an Absorb or something. They've already got enough mana to do it. Plus, this way, if they play a decent creature next turn, I can actually get any form of value other than you can't block out of the manipulation. Like, manipulation now does get them dead in 2 turns, but I really want to play around Quench because they've already played 1,000,000 copies. So at this point, who knows what's possible? They probably have 10 copies of Quench in their deck. I'm just going to go ahead and play the Guild. Well, shall I? Shall I play the Guild Gates? Because I have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana, so I can spend 8 mana on Mass Manipulation and save 2 up. Yeah, I'll just let them get their stupid treasure this turn. And save the 2 for Quench. The fact that they haven't played anything makes me think they're probably just got 1,000,000 counters in hand. Guess I can save Mass Manipulation for like the last thing. I could Humongulous here, see if they absorb that. No counters. So it looks like I should have just went for Mass Manipulation a couple turns ago. But we're just going to save it for like the last possible second. See, now we can take 3 creatures with it. Ain't that neat? Ain't that neat? So they block everybody and take nothing. I have 8 power on the board now, so if Mass Manipulation resolves, they are dead. So now I'm taking 3 things, so that's 6 mana there, so this is going to cost 10 mana. 6, 10... It's possible they have Quench and they just didn't cast it on Humongulous, but they also like didn't wait at all when I cast it. That's probably just because they're good at actually skipping in order for your opponent to not know you have something with Flash, because they had a Fairy Duelist the whole time. I am not going to pay that. One, 2. I have 11 lands, so I can spend 8 and have enough for Quench. I think I would rather just have enough for Quench, honestly. Sick. It worked. Well, we win. Don't win immediately because I didn't steal everybody. But we basically win. Yeah, if I stole everybody, they would have been at 2 life now. Alright, we got the game. Our deck was getting very low on cards, but there was still a Mass Manipulation in the deck, which means I was not worried about that at all. They have Quench, so we need to worry about Quench. They've got like triple Quench. But other than that, I think we just run it back. Sky Tether actually is good against them, though. I feel like every match we're like siding in Sky Tether and taking out maybe one Humongulous or something like that, which is what I'm doing this match. Alright, we're in the final round. We're 4 wins with this. I swear. If this is my first Ravnica Allegiance deck that goes 5 wins, that is going to blow my mind, because I drafted very poorly, and I have heard that Azorious isn't insanely exciting. I fought through 2 Rhythm of the Wild decks. to get here, so let's just... Ooh! Double blue, double white, scry 3. This hand is spicy. Opponent has to have a pretty spicy hand as well to beat this, or just like triple quench. I guess if they have triple quench, I just run right into that and cry. Because I can't afford to just be like, oh, it's turn 4, I will play nothing. I'll wait till turn 6 to play my Sphinx of Foresight. I think quench just gets me if it gets me. So yeah, now I get to scry 3 and put any non-lands on bottom. Or any lands on bottom. Oh, Gate Boy. Do I actually want Gate Boy? These rounds against this guy seem to go long, so I'm going to keep Gate Boy. Gate Boy can be spicy. So now I have 4, 6, 7 as my curve. Ooh, we drew the double white, double blue card. I think I'll cast the... I think I'll cast the new Prov before the Foresight. Because all of the removal seems to just give it Defender, which is okay. Whereas, like, the Foresight, I think I want the Foresight to resolve more. Because it lets me scry every turn. And they're just going to play mono quench.deck. I think their deck is actually slow enough that I can just do nothing until quench is useless. What? Screw it. Let's do that. If you want to play mono quench, I'll just wait till turn 6. Actually not true, because I just drew a Senate Griffin, so I might as well. If quench resolves you, then good on you. You really did it. Jesus fucking Christ. Alright, Fairy Duelist. So I really want to draw an untapped land, just to deal with their third quench, which we know they have. Kind of insane that they just drew them all. Guess we pass, we go Duelist into Sentinel's Mark. They know we have the Sphinx of Foresight, but I know they have a million copies of Quench, so... which is whatever. I think I might just play the Duelist and block and not even play Sentinel's Mark just yet. Because it is a lot better on like a Sphinx of Foresight. No, I think I will play it now because maybe they want to quench it. Maybe they want to bounce my guy. I'd much rather they use it on my tiny little 1-2 than something else. So they do just bounce my guy. They didn't even do it in their main phase, so they lost the draw card value. That was a really good turn for me. Now I get to cast Sphinx into Quench. If they have Absorb, that's really sad, but they do not. And I think I should be in a pretty winning position here. Your cards are a lot smaller than mine, except the Sphinx of the Guild Pact. Did not see that before. That has protection from Sky Tether, so... pretty good. But I can just double block that if need be. Which may indeed be the case. Actually, at this point, they're tapped out. I'm just dropping Gate Colossus. Erase that. They probably just Sky Tether it. Chillbringer, they're gonna Chillbringer it. Okay. Sphinx is concerning. Sentinel's Mark on Sphinx, so now it's got 7 toughness. This is really scary, but I think I can still win this game if the last card in their hand doesn't do anything. So I can Sky Tether and Fairy and Sphinx's Insight, so I will just keep that. Actually, Sky Tether the Chillbringer, so I don't have to deal with it. And we drop a Fairy out this turn, but we still don't block the Sphinx until I drop an Archway Angel as well. And then I can double block Sphinx with Angel and my own Sphinx. just gonna let him hit me for 6, because I didn't really seem to have any like crazy pop spells or anything. I have 8 mana, so I can Angel and Duelist in the same turn, so I'll actually just not play anything here. Watchful Giant. Well, I'm not playing it this turn, and I don't think it does very much this game, because I really just need to deal with that Sphinx thing. Island doesn't do a lot this game either, though. So, send in Gate Colossus? They're going to take 8. Play the Angel. See if they have their counter spell. Destroy the Gate Colossus. Do not know why they did not do that before they took damage, but that is fine. And if I draw another Azorious Guildgate, I get him back, so not the biggest loss. I just don't really have pressure on them now. But I have 7 flying power to block, so they can't really attack anymore, but neither can I. So now we just stare at each other for a bit. Unless they attack right now. They could have a pump spell, but I didn't see any pump spells in their deck last game, and they don't seem like the kind of deck that's trying to run pump spells. So I get to scry one for the rest of this game, so it's going to be pretty hard to lose, especially because I just drew my Guildgate. Yep. Eat him right on top. Get a huge boy down. No attacks. So it looks like this game they got their one threat actually out this time. So we get to see how their deck actually operates. Sky Tether on my Angel. That is a way to get in there with the Sphinx. Pretty good draw for opponent. I'm just gonna chump here. Should I jump just yet? Yeah. I like jumping. Keep Gate Colossus there. Seems good. So we lost this game. So, I don't know if opponent was just sandbagging the counter forever, because there were a lot of really good spots to use that I think would be arguably better. Or if they just top-decked counters at the end there. Top-deck Sky Tether and Thought Collapse. Which I could absolutely see that having happened. I could still top-deck Mass Manipulation, since they've used a million counters so far. It is a lot less likely that they have one now. So I will keep the Scry guy as long as possible, just to scry into that card. Doesn't super win, because I can't target the Sphinx of the Guild Pact, but man, it doesn't actually do anything. Hexproof for monocolored is actually just insane. So I have to hit my Law Mage's Binding. That is the only thing I could get. So I think I still just take blockers. To make it to Law Mage's Binding, hopefully. Unless I already got it milled at some point. I did not. No attacks. Into Azorious Skyguard. Okay. Pretty bad draw. Oh, are you kidding me? Alright. There's only like 6 cards left in my deck that I haven't seen. I'll see what kind of pump they have. Alright, looks like they were just on the loose play plan. Shieldbringer doesn't actually do anything because they have hexproof or monocolored. There's the binding. Do they have a counter still? They don't. Oh my god. Can we get there? Can we get there? There's 5 cards left that I haven't seen. Wall of Last Thought, so they're going to mill the cards I haven't seen yet. Which, of course, were 3 cards that are... Oh, I guess they're just okay. That was not the worst. Scry 1. Sage's Row Savant. I know that the next card is land, so I'm going to keep it on top. And we're going to cast it. I actually just know the whole order of my deck now. We're going to put these lands on bottom, which gives me Humongulous next turn. They take 6, they're down to 4. They've got the locket, they draw 4, they've got 2 mana to survive. That was pretty nice. That I've scryed through my whole library at this point. I cannot... It won't let me look at it. There we go. Yeah, it's mostly lands now. Exposed to Daylight on the fricking Binding. That's a really good draw. They have 2 blockers. I have 3 attackers. So I can attack with everybody to do 2 to them. And then they just win because they got fucking exposed to Daylight. Just gonna lose to the second copy of Exposed to Daylight? Wow. So, we've seen basically their whole deck now. And they have 1 card that beats our deck. And everything else kind of sucks. So, if they don't get the stupid Sphinx next game, then we win. So, let's put in our Quenches and save them for turn 6. And get rid of the Veterans, because they haven't done much of anything. I'm going to check my texticle. Alright, sorry about that. Yeah, I think we just put in the Quenches. And just always save up a Quench on turn 7. Because without, I think it's very unlikely to lose if they don't land their Sphinx. Because their other plan is like this loose mill plan that they just keep dying before they can mill me anyway. And the Gateway Sneak is a plan as well. We don't want them to be able to do anything with Gateway Sneak, so I think that this time we just aggressively Slime Bind Gateway Sneak if we see it. Or whatever kind of answer we have for that. I'll keep this. For sure. So I get to Scry 2 on turn 2 and hopefully hit into some lands. Sick. Now literally any land lets me cast the Sphinx on turn 4. I like the Messenger as well. I think we just go land into Messenger. Next turn we swing with the Savant. We have a Fairy Duelist backup. Persistent Petitioners. Okay. Well, they're gonna mill my next flyer, I guess. If they want to spend the mana to do so. They are clearly saving up a quench. So I'll go ahead and play the weakest card right now. Thought Collapse instead of Quench. Okay. I milled 3 cards that I really didn't want to see right now, so that's good. I mean, Shimmer of Possibility would actually be fine, but the lands, don't really need them. I've got 4 mana cards I'm trying to cast. Here's the Wall of Lost Thoughts. I guess they just drew like the perfect mill plan this time, and they're milling my bombs, which is concerning. Maybe this is how they assumed the deck would function without testing it. I think we just pass. They clearly have Quench. Why else would they have thought so long about what they were going to do last turn between those 2 cards? Get a Fairy Duelist out there. It is a very slow clock, but something. They could have milled me one with the Petitioners last turn. Guess they just decided not to. Huge boy. Huge boy is out. Would not be surprised at all if they just chose not to counter it with a Quench in hand. But I'm starting to get slightly concerned that they do have a Quench. Or that they don't have a Quench and I've just been playing around nothing. But I still think it's more likely they do. Because they had like 3. And they keep suspiciously saving up 2 or 3 mana every turn. See, like yet again, they've got 3 mana but they're not doing anything. I wonder why. Just pass. Gonna use Petitioners here. Hey, it's my own Quench. So if they have a land into the Sphinx, then that's very bad for me. Alright, Fairy Duelist, let's go. Would really like one more land, but I suppose they have milled a lot of my lands. Sky Tether's pretty nice. Just to make sure my other flyers get here. Or get in there. Whatever, show me the Quench. At this point, I can't draw any lands, so might as well run right into it. There's Quench. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They've milled 5 lands, so I've got 10. That means I have 7 still in the deck. Should be able to still get an untapped land. Yeah, every land left in my deck is an untapped land. There's a lot of them. Sick. Alright, now we can play 4-drop. Thing is, now they almost definitely just have like a Sky Tether. So they clearly have Quench, because they thought about that a lot. So they have at least Quench. Don't know why they chose to mill me right then. That just let me get 2 more damage in on them. Because otherwise there was no way I was attacking with Sage's Row Savant. They just eat it. Or to Sentinels mark their wall so that I can block that? Okay. Have they milled my white-blue removal yet. They have not. So I still have an answer to the Sphinx if they end up getting it. They about to draw cards here? No, they're making mana. It's a Sky Tether Sphinx. Great. I love it. Good old opponent, always with the 2 mana up. There's Courier. I don't have a reason to give it Vigilance. Let's just attack. Oh yeah, I can't even attack with this turn. It doesn't have haste. What am I even talking about? Mill the land, so I still have my white-blue removal spell. Can't even cast the Gate Colossus yet. Alright. We're gonna play the Watchful Giant. I don't have anything that can play around Quench this turn. And no Quench from opponent. Happy with that. I get to have something on my board, but I think I just lose to the Petitioner here. Yeah! And there goes my only way to deal with their Sphinx. Guess I still have a Mitotic Manipulation in here. Could have played the Gate Colossus there, but I like tapping down the Petitioners so I can swing in with everybody. And I also like playing around Quench. Good game. Who GGing move for? You think you're dead? Or do you think I'm dead? I don't know where the GG came from. I don't know who's winning right now. Maybe they just think they're dead to like another flyer? Or just because I have too many dudes on the field? Or because I've played around their Quenches? Maybe they were just saying good game as in well played around the Quenches? Or maybe they're saying good game because they have another way to mill me right now. And I'm about to die. Sphinx of the Guild Pact. Must be nice. So they can only block 2 things, so they take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, and they get to play Sphinx and Quench this turn? Seems fair. Alright, so they get to kill 2 things, or they get to kill 1 thing. And they're down to 2, they have 3 blockers for my 5 dudes. Hello, Quench that I've known about for the entire game. Just didn't have any play to play around the Quench there, yet again. Now they have 4 blockers. So they only take 1 this turn. I still just kind of have to attack with everybody. So this way they take 1. And I lose my Fairy Duelist and my Senate guy. Then I have 3 attackers to their a lot of blockers. This is a very irritating match. Probably would have just been better to not attack at all. That way if I could cast and resolve the Angel, then... like, if they had no creature next turn, I could still win. Okay, well, fuck you, opponent. Yeah. Don't think I was going to resolve the Angel there. But it might have... I think it would have been better to just not attack and send in the Angel. But either way, it has been a very long tournament and I have a very large headache, so loose plays were made. Let's open all of our packs here and see what we get. Font of Agonies. I do not think that card will be good. It can be fun in the right deck, but probably nothing insane. Growth Chamber Guardian's probably going to be alright. I've seen Gruul Elf's deck that Mana Shark uploaded that I believe that deck looks pretty cool. Incubation Druid, great card. Happy to get that. I need that for my Vannifar decks. Just a mana dork that taps for multiple different colors. Uncommon wildcard, happy about that. And final pack here. It's a Repudiate and Replicate. Not so sure about that card, but maybe it'll do something cool in Standard. I don't think so, because we already have Quasi-Duplicate to do any kind of that shenanigans that you want to do in Standard. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching this very long and very hard-fought tournament draft of Ravnica Allegiance, and I'll see you all next time.